Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Miriam and I love books, and for that reason I challenged myself to read 365 books in 2021, and every week I post a weekly wrap-up video in which I tell you about the books I read in the past week. And this weekly wrap-up video is about the books I read from a Saturday till a Friday, so this week's weekly wrap-up video is about the books I read from Saturday the 24th of April until Friday the 30th of April. And I finished 8 books in that time. I wrote down the books I finished, but I don't know, for some reason I'm sort of convinced I finished 9 books instead of 8, but the list says 8, so maybe I have forgotten a book. If so, my apologies. But anyway, in April I read 31 books. I'm so happy about that. I mean, April consists of 30 days and I read an extra book, which is great. Well, to be honest, I read a lot of novellas in April, but, well, I came up with this challenge so I can set the rules for myself, can't I? So, well, anyway, I read a lot of great books in the past week. Actually, I was sort of sad because it felt like I was reading books I did not really enjoy, but in the past week well, that definitely made up for all the bad books I read in the past time. I started out with Sorry I'm Late But I Didn't Want to Come, a non-fiction book, because suddenly it was almost the ending of April and I finished only one non-fiction book. I finished On Stories by C.S. Lewis, so I had to finish another non-fiction book. I started Sorry I'm Late But I Didn't Want to Come, and usually I read a chapter a day or 2 chapters from a non-fiction book, but I wanted to finish this book so badly, so I think I finished it in 2 days, which is very strange for a non-fiction book. I think I know why I think I've finished 9 books, but I started reading The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I really enjoyed The Night Circus by her, but after like 100 pages I still couldn't get through the book, so I decided I would DNF it, and I felt strange about that, but on the other hand I'm really happy I did it because, well, maybe in the future I will try again, but, well, now was not the good time to read it. So I started reading The Great Divorce, a Dutch edition by C.S. Lewis. It's a very small book. This is, I think, next to the Narnia series, my favorite book by C.S. Lewis. It actually gave me an excellent idea for the books I'm going to read in December. I know that's still a long time to go, and I don't want time to go faster than it does right now because time flies by, but reading this book gave me a great idea for my TBR for December, and I can't wait. On one hand, I can't wait to get there. But yeah, this was a reread for me and excellent book. The next book I read is Het Geheim van de Krokodil, which is the Dutch version of the number one ladies detective agency by Alexander McCall Smith, and I bought this entire series. Well, actually I had the first book, so I had this book in a different edition, but then on the Dutch version of eBay, I think sort of eBay, where you can sell your secondhand things, I found the entire series, and that was a different format. This is a pocket edition, so I decided I would keep the pocket editions of this entire series, and it's totally different from other books I read, and I think I like it so much because of that. The next book I read was Magic Hour by Kristen Hanna, and if you've been following me for a while, you know that I read another book by Kristen Hanna, I think Firefly Lane. Yeah, its title was Firefly Lane, and I was I was disappointed in that book, and, well, and therefore I was a bit reluctant to start reading Magic Hour. But this book was so beautiful, and yeah, I don't know, I can't find the words to describe it, but this was such a beautiful read, and I highly recommend it to you. The next book I read was The Path to the Sea. I think it's the English title is The Path to the Sea. The Dutch translation is very literal, but I might mix up a few of the minor words, like it can also be a path to the sea, but I think it was the path to the sea. And this was actually quite surprising. Another book by Liz Fenwick was on my TBR, The Returning Tide. I did not get to that book. I found the audiobook of The Path to the Sea, and actually I found that book because it was a different book by Lisa Wingate, which I listened to a couple of weeks ago, and the narrator was, her voice was so beautiful, so I wanted to listen to other books that she narrated, and that's how I got to The Path to the Sea. And actually that book was quite surprising for me. It was about the Cold War, and I think that's why I thought this, it had some plot holes actually, and some things were not explained entirely, but I did enjoy listening to that book. And I thought, because there are so many books on the First World War, the Second World War, but there are not so many books on the Cold War, like in a novel style book. Maybe you do know books like that. If so, let me know in the comments, because I am quite interested in that part of history as well. The next book I finished was The Wrens Nest by Elizabeth Musser. Actually, that book, I told you in my TBR video that that book was not translated. Well, actually, the author wrote the book in English because she is from America. And they translated the book and published it in the Netherlands. But the book is not published in America. It's so weird, and I really don't understand why, because it's such a beautiful book about also about slavery. Like it's actually about the Civil War, but also it's not really about the Civil War, but about stories around that time and present day, so it's a dual timeline. And it's about present day slavery, modern day slavery, and oh yeah, you should read it, but you can't. I don't know, it's a pity it's not published in English. I really think it's a pity, because it's such a beautiful book. I think it's actually my favorite book by Elizabeth Musser I've read so far. And I've read quite a few of her books. Next, I read a Dutch original book called Breitjerk op zolder, which is a young adult novel called, I think you can translate the title as Wedding Dress in the Attic. And this is actually written by, I sort of call her my colleague, because she publishes at the same publisher as I do. And it was just out, actually. I think it came out 2 weeks ago, but it was already on Kobo Plus, because my publisher is awesome with Kobo Plus. Yeah, it was a lighthearted, no, it was not a lighthearted theme, but the book was very lighthearted and easy to read, and therefore I enjoyed it, because that actually helped me getting to 31 books in April. The last book was actually an audiobook that only took me 2 hours to listen to, because I think the entire time is 3 hours, and I listened to it on 1.5 speed. So that was actually quite funny. I listened to it on 1.5 speed because the title is The Things You Only See When You Slow Down. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm the only person who can laugh about that, but I think it's quite funny. Yeah, this is written by a Buddhist monk, for those of you who don't know, and I'm a Christian, and that was, I think it was at least interesting to read or to listen to. There were actually quite a lot of lessons which I thought were amazing, especially the one about work, that if you get home from work and you're like, do I really have to continue this life forever and ever? Sometimes it feels like you're stuck. And a lot of modern day self-help books say that if you feel like that, you should find another job. And that's not what he said. He said, if it happens, then set your alarm a bit earlier the next morning, and when you wake up, think about all the people you can help when you're at that job, when you're working at that job. And I thought that was, I think I actually wrote that lesson down. Because I was listening to it, so I used my note, like you got this note-taking app on your phone, and I've used that quite a lot for this book, which was strange because there were also quite a lot of things I did not agree with because of my belief is a bit different, but it's really hard to explain. And actually that's also the reason why I liked reading this book, that it made me think about that. Like, what would I say if I were in a conversation with someone like that, and would I know what to say? So, well, these were the books I've finished. I'm still thinking I forgot a book, but yeah, my reading journal did not say so, so I think this is it. I hope you like watching this weekly wrap-up video, and if you want to follow me on this journey where I read 365 books in this year, then subscribe to my channel. Well, and before you go, I have an announcement. I'm going to post less videos. I will keep on posting my weekly wrap-up videos, so every week there's a weekly wrap-up video, because otherwise it wouldn't be a weekly wrap-up video. But I will post only twice a month on Thursday. The last Thursday of the month is for my TBR video, and the second Thursday of the month is for a random video on books. In next week Thursday's video, I will tell you about I'm starting a new series called The Reading Life, and I'm talking about how to read more and how to incorporate reading into your daily life and that sort of things, so be sure to check it out. But the reason I'm filming less videos is that I'm actually feeling a bit better. If you're following me for a while now, you know that things were not really great for me the past few months, because well, actually it turned out to be post-COVID symptoms, but I'm a bit better now, and I'm doing a bit more writing at the moment, and I really enjoy that. And I don't want, well, making videos for BookTube, I think my writing is more important than that, so I want to focus a bit more on writing. And actually I also made videos about writing in Dutch, and I want to do that again, so I will and therefore I have to make choices. I have to, well, you can't do everything, so that's actually the reason why I decided to make less videos for Thursday. But I hope you will still watch my videos, and well, I'll be here every week with a weekly wrap-up video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, happy reading.